Hello everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. So far we have seen automation of different type of elements which are of standard type. For example, we have seen different type of radio button, drop down buttons. So those elements are kind of a standard element because they will have the standard behavior. But there can be some elements which are very custom elements. When we say custom elements, those elements will have some kind of a different look and feel, or usability of such elements can vary from one website to another website. So whenever a web developer designs specific website, he can use such custom elements which are not constant across different type of websites. So whenever such elements are present and we want to automate such elements, we might have to use some type of a different strategy every time. Some strategy which work for one website for that custom element might not work on another for the same web element. For example, we will see one of such element, that is date picker. Date picker or calendar we can say. So date pickers are a user interface or widgets commonly found in software applications and websites. They are designed to simplify the process of selecting specific date or date range from a calendar. So we have seen in some of the forms or any travel booking website or any hotel booking website, we especially see such kind of a date pickers where users need to input dates accurately, such as whenever booking appointments, setting deadlines, or filling out forms that require date information. In such website, we see date picker element. So I will show you one of the sample website where we can see such calendar or date picker. So let's take an example of this website. On this website, so this is the website. On this website, if you see, there is a date field. In this date field, whenever you click on it, one calendar opens. And from this calendar or the date picker, we can select the date which we want. If you want to scroll back or if you want to go to previous month and year, we can use this button. If you go to upcoming months and year, we can use this icon. So we can navigate to upcoming dates and past dates as well. Now this calendar is basically a custom UI element. On some website we can see a calendar where there would be a drop down for years, there would be a drop down for months as well. So this look and feel or the usability can change from one website to another website depending upon which type of date picker is used. So whenever we are doing the automation, we can follow certain strategy for specific type of a date picker, but that does not guarantee that same approach will work for another date picker as well. So we will see one example related to this date picker. So what is my scenario is, from this date picker I want to select a specific date. So first we will see selecting a current date or the future date. We will see how to select current date or future date. Now if you want to select the date manually, what we will do? In this date picker, if you see, we can directly enter the date as well. So in this situation, if you see, I am just putting one date. It is taking manual input as well. So we can directly send the date as well, that is fine. But in some cases, it will not allow to pass date like this. To pass date like this directly by using send keys method. So in some of the website it will not be allowed, or some type of date pickers will not allow this. On such type of date pickers, whenever you click on it, it will directly open the date picker, and we have to select the dates from clicking specific dates only. Now first I will show you how to do that by directly passing. So I will just open PyCharm. In PyCharm, let's create a new Python file. Let's name it as date picker demo. So we have created a Python file. In this file, I will just use some of the basic code. So basically we are importing Selenium WebDriver. We are also importing service class object, service class which we are importing here. Then we have created a service class object in which we are passing executable path. It is basically path to chromedriver.exe file. Then we have created a driver instance in which we are passing that service class object. Then we have added some implicit wait of 10 seconds. And after that we are just opening the website which we want to open. So I will just copy that website. So this is the website which we will open. After opening this website, first thing we will do is we have to capture that date picker element. So if I want to pass the date directly, if you see, if I select it, if I select the date, it is storing in MMDD year format, MMDD YY format. So 10 is a month, 13 is a date, and 2023 is a year. So I can directly pass that value as well. So let's try to locate that date picker element. So let's inspect it. When you see ID equals to date picker. But if you see the structure here, this is present inside one iframe. So before accessing this element, we have to first switch the focus to iframe. And on this page, let's see how many iframes are there. So 2 times forward slashes and I am searching for iframes. So only one iframe is there. So as there is only one iframe, I can switch by using index also. So let's use driver dot switch to frame, and in this I am passing the index as 0 because only one iframe is present. After that we will find out that date picker element. Find element by dot, we can see the ID here, right? If you see, if you highlight that element, there is a ID as date picker. So I am just copying that ID and I am passing that value in the locator. So it will find that date picker element and it will click on it. It will click on that. Or instead of clicking, we can also directly use send keys method, and in this I am passing one date. Let's say I am passing this date. So now let's execute this file and let's see if it passes that date in that specific field or not. So I am just executing the file. It will launch the web browser. it will open the web page, it will switch the focus to that iframe, and it should pass that value. So it is perfectly fine, it is passing that value directly now. If you see, the value is passing directly in that date field. I am just closing it. But now, instead of passing that value directly, because sometimes on some of the website, date picker will not allow to pass values directly in that field. So in such situation, we have to select that specific date. Now we will see the scenario where we want to select that date from date picker calendar. Let's say I want to select 20 August 2024. If I want to select it manually, what steps I will do? I will first click on the date field. After clicking on this date field, if you see, I will check month and year. Is the month and year expected for 20 August 2024? Answer is no, because it is still showing current date. So to reach to 20 August 2024, what action I will have to do? I will have to first navigate to that year and month. How to do that? So I have to click on this button. Next, 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 until I reach to August 2024 calendar. So we have to check month and year. We have to check month and year, if those are expected or not. So if I want to select August month of 2024, I have to keep clicking on this next button until I reach to this August 2024 calendar. This is the condition which we have done manually, and same we will do via automation as well. Once you find the correct month and correct year, next step is selecting the date. Next step is selecting a date from this calendar. So if you see, these are the dates. So if I want to select 20, I will just click on this 20. So it will select 20 August 2024. Now the same action we will do via automation script. So we will see the strategy or actions which we have to do for selecting such future date. So I will show you the code to first select future date or the current date, and then we will see about selecting past dates. So now let's go to PyCharm. So up to this point, now we will not send keys, we will use click method. So it will click on that date field and it will open that calendar. It will open that widget of date picker. Once that is open, what I will do, I will take some expected day. So with the day which we want to select, expected month and expected year. So let's say I want to select 2024 as a year. So I am taking it in string format, because whatever we will select, that would be in string format. Expected month as, let's say, August, and expected day as 20. So 20 August 2024 is the date which I want to select. After that, what is the next action we want to do is, if you see, after clicking on it, we have to check the month and year. We have to check month and year. If that month and year, if that specific month and year is matching with the expected month, so if let's say I want to select, I will just refresh this page once. Now let's say after refreshing, if I want to select the current date from current month, then what we will do, we will see if the month and year is October and 2023, which is the current month and current date. if it is month and year is correct, I will directly click on it. But if this month and year is not matching with my expectation, then what is the action we will do? We will click on next. We will again check if month and year is matching with my expected month and year. No. Then I will again click on this next. After that again I will check if my month and year is matching with my expected and date. And first we will check for month and year only if they are matching or not. If they are not matching, then we will keep going and keep clicking on this next button. If they are not matching, then we will keep to clicking on this next button. But do we know the end condition here? I want to click on this next button. That is the action I want to continuously do. But at what point I have to stop, that I don't know, right? In such situation, we have to use while loop. In such situation, we have to use while loop, because today there is a, let's say today there is a October 2023, which is the current day and month. So after next 1 month it will change. So current date and month, current month and year will change in next month. So we cannot hard code that specific date or month or how many times we want to click on this next button. That we cannot guess correctly, right? So that is not possible. That will keep changing depending on current month and year. So if I write this, so that's why we can't use for loop here. We cannot use, because we don't know starting and end condition here. We don't know exact range or exact number of how many times I want to click on this next button. That is still not known. That will change every time. So in such situation, we have to use while loop. By using while loop and giving the break condition, for example, we can use while loop, and in which we can put the condition that if the month and year is matching with my expected month and year, then only stop. If my month and year are matching with my expected month and year, then stop. If it is not matching, then keep clicking on this next button. If they are not matching, then keep clicking on this next button. So for that, let's see how we can use the while loop. So here we will use while condition, and for while loop we have to give condition like true here. We are giving it true because we don't know when we have to stop. So we have to stop only when the expected day and expected month matches. But at what count they will match, that we don't know. We know that we have to stop when expected day, expected month and expected year are found. So we will stop only when expected month and expected year is found on our calendar. Then only we will stop. But what is the exact count of that? How many times we have to click on the next button? That is dynamic. That might change. So that's why we have to use while condition, and then we have put the condition as true, so that it will keep looping that statement. It will keep looping that statement until we reach to expected month and expected year. So while condition is true, what we will do? We will capture month and we will capture year. We will capture month and year. So how to capture the month and year? So if you see, I want to capture the month and year field. So I will just inspect this web element. So let's click on inspect and then click on this date. And let's try to observe this month and year field. If you hover on it or if you select it, if you see, class equals to this one. So I'm just going to use this class attribute with this value. So I will just use this class attribute to find out the month. So I will just use driver dot find element by dot XPath comma, and we have to write some XPath with this attribute. So I will just use Control F, 2 times forward slash star at the rate class equals to this value. So it will locate this month field. Even if you go to next month and if you see element remains the same, it will capture every time the month value. It will always capture the month web element and we can extract the text from that. So I am just using this locator, driver.findElement by XPath, provide the value, and we want to fetch the text of it. So I will use .text method. Similarly for year also, let's check it out. If you see, for year also we have class value here. I am just copying it and let's try to put in this XPath. So I will create one XPath which will find out the year in that calendar, and we want to fetch the text value of it. So it will fetch the text of that specific web element. So it will return that 2023 value. So even if you go to next year, it will still fetch that value of whatever which is present there. So I will just use driver.findElement by .xpath, then we will provide comma and we will provide .text. So it will capture the text of the year and it will store it in year variable. We are also capturing month and we are capturing year. After capturing this value, what we want to do is we want to check whether they are matching with our expected month and expected year. So here we will put one if condition. If month equals to expected month, and condition we have to check year as well. So both need to be matched. Both the value need to be matched first. Year equals to expected year. So if both these value are matching, then what we will do, we will stop, right? So if I want to select 20 August 2024, if I want to select 20 August 2024, what I will do, after opening this, I will check whether my month and year are matching with my expected month and year. No, I am capturing, what I am doing here, I am first capturing this month. What is the month that will be captured here? If you see, month will be December. And what is the year that is captured here? Year will be 2023. So after that we will check if that month is matching to expected month. What is the expected month? August. But what is the month we have captured? That is, what is the month we have captured here is December. So that is not matching, right? Also year also is not matching. Year which we have captured is not equal to expected year. So both the condition are not true. Both the condition are not matching. If both the condition are not matching, if both the condition are matching here, so if though they are not matching, then what we will do, if they are not matching, then we will keep clicking on this button and we will again check if this month and year are matching. No, then we will again click on this button. If it is matching with our expected month and year, no, then again we will click on this. But what if they match? If they match, then we want to stop, right? If they match, then we want to stop. So here if the value matches, then we will simply break the loop. So this is the condition. If month equals to expected month and year equals to expected year, then we have to break this loop. Then we don't want to click on that next button. But if these values are not matching, then we have to keep clicking on the next button. So we will just find out that next button, driver.findElement by let's try to find out XPath for this next icon or next button. I will just copy the XPath. So we have copied the XPath now. So what we are doing here is, if my month, first we are capturing month and year, then we are checking if this month and year are matching with my expected month and year. If they match, then we have to break the loop, we have to keep stop, right? So if they match, then we have to stop on that specific calendar, and if they are not matching, then we have to click on this next icon. So it will go to next month, it will go to next month, until the month and year are matching with our expected month and year. Otherwise it will keep clicking on it, and once that is reached, it should stop at whatever expected month and year we have given. So now let's execute this file and let's see whether it navigates up to August 2024. So let's execute this file. Let's execute this file. It will launch the web browser. It is launching the web browser, and if you see, it is not clicking due to some error. What I will do, I will just minimize this window. I am just closing all the open windows. Let's minimize it, and to see properly what we will do, after opening this web page, we will maximize the window as well. So driver dot maximize window. Let's execute this file one more time. Let's execute this file one more time. It will launch the web page. It will maximize the window. It selected the calendar, but somehow it is not clicking on it. So what I will do, because we haven't used dot click method. If you see, we have located the element but we haven't clicked on it. So let's use dot click. Let's close this window and let's rerun this file. Let's execute this file one more time. So it is launching the window. It will maximize the browser, and if you see, it is automatically clicking on it up to August 2024. Once it's reached to August 2024, it stopped clicking on the next button because expected month and year is observed here. It is found here, so it is stopped here. I am just closing this window, and let's run one more time to see it again. So I am just running this window or running this file one more time. It will automatically click on the next button until we reach to August 2024 calendar. If you see, it is again clicking automatically up to August 2024. So now we have reached to our expected month and expected year. What is the next step now? We have to select the date now. We have to select a date now. So which date we want to select? We want to select 20. So now let's inspect this. So we have to first find out the XPath which will find all the dates. I want to find out, or we have to first find the XPath which will be pointing to all the dates which are present on the calendar. It should have 1 to 31. If it's November, then 1 to 30. Depending on the month, it should contain all the dates, whatever is present or whatever is visible. It should have all the dates. We have to find out such XPath. So let's inspect the date. If you see, it is a web table because you can easily see there is a TD tag, right? TR tag, T body tag. If you see, T body, T head and table. So this is the table basically. This is a table. In this table, web table, there are multiple rows. If you see, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, and all the rows are here. So I want to find out, or I want to write such XPath which will contain only the dates from 1 to 31 for this specific month. So let's use Control F. We know that it is a table, so I will just use table, but there are multiple tables are present. Then I will use, if you see, in this table tag there is a T body. In T body there is TR. If you see, when we select the TR, then these 7 rows are getting highlighted. And in this TR, if you see, there is TD. After TD, if you take any date, inside this TD, if you see, inside the TR there is a TD, and inside the table data there is a anchor tag. This A tag contains that specific date. This A tag is containing that specific date. So I will just use A. As soon as you see this XPath, 31 elements are found. If you see, it is pointing to all the dates starting from 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. It will go up to 31. So this XPath is basically pointing to all the dates which are present for this calendar. And even if you go to next month, and if you see, the same XPath is again pointing to all the 31 dates. If you see, even if you go to next month, it will perfectly find 29 dates here. It will only find the 29 dates because this February month is having 29 days only. So it is containing only the dates. If you go to next month, again it will contain all the 31 dates. If you see, all the 31 dates. So basically this XPath is capturing all the dates. It is pointing to all the dates present in the calendar. So what we will do, up to this point we have reached to find expected month and expected year. Now next step is, we have to select a date. So we have reached up to month and year. So I will just come out of this while loop. I will write all dates. I am creating one variable, all dates equals to driver dot find elements, because we are using the XPath. We are using the XPath which is pointing to multiple dates. So it will store all the dates into this specific variable. Now we want to use one condition. What is the condition? We will iterate through all the dates by using for loop, and whenever that date which we want to select gets matched, we want to click on it. So we will simply use for loop for, let's say, day in all dates. For day in all dates, basically it will iterate one by one. So in first loop it will fetch the first date from this all dates. It will store it in a day. Then we will check if day equals to our expected day, whatever day we are expecting here. If that matches, if you see, if day equals to expected day, but not just day, we want to fetch text, right? If day dot text, because day is a web element, but we want to fetch the value of that day, right? Value of that date will be fetched only if we use dot text method here. So if day dot text equals to expected day, then we want to click on it. So we will simply use day dot click. So it will click on that specific day, and that will select the day. So here expected day is 20. It will iterate up to 20 and then it will automatically click on that 20. So now let's execute this file and let's see whether it selects August 20, 2024 or not. So let's run this file. So once we run this file, let's see the output. So it is launching the website. It will open the website. It will keep clicking up to August 24, and then it has automatically selected 20 as a date. So this is how we can select the date. Now instead of this date I will put some another date. I am just closing it. Let's try to put, instead of 20, let's put 15. Instead of August, let's put July, and year also let's put 2025. 15 July 2025. Now let's execute this file and let's see whether it selects that specific date or not. It should select 15 July 2025. It is launching the website. It will click on the date picker and it will keep clicking until the expected month and year is coming. If you see, it has selected the correct date, that is 15th of July 2025, which we have provided here. So this is how we can select. Now let's try to put the current date as well. I want to select 12 October, which is the current date, 12 October 2023. In this case, what will happen? As soon as it will open the calendar, it will match. It will directly match with expected month and expected year. So it will not click on the next icon. It will directly select the date. Let's execute and let's check it out. It is launching the web browser. It will open the web page. It will click on the date field and it will directly select that current date, that is the today's date, that is 12 October 2023. So this is how we can select current date as well as future date. So we have selected current date and future date by using this, clicking on this next icon. Whenever in practical examples we see forms to select date of birth. Now date of birth can be current date or past date. It cannot have the future date. In some of the use cases, let's say hotel booking, we can always select current date or the future date. We cannot select the past date. So depending on the requirement, there can be a possibility of selecting either the past date or only the future dates. There can be exceptional scenario where we want to select both type of dates, but most of the times it would be either past dates and current dates or future dates and current dates. If it's a travel booking or ticket booking calendar for any traveling related website, ticket we can book only for current date or the future date. We cannot book the ticket for past date, right? So depending on the requirement, we have to select or we have to write the logic for that. Now in this situation I have shown you how to select current date and future date. Now if I want to select the past date, if my expected date is past date, only thing I have to change is, instead of selecting this next icon, we have to click on this previous icon. Now let's say for past date also I will show you. Now for past date, let's say I want to select 12 October 2019. I want to select 12 October 2019. So only logic which I will change is, remaining logic will remain same. I will just check if month and year are matching or not. If they are not matching, and if I know that I have to select the past date, what I will do, I will just keep clicking on the previous icon, this previous button. I will keep clicking on this previous button. So let's inspect it and let's try to find out this previous button locator. I am just copying the XPath, and what I will do, here where we are clicking on that next icon, I will just comment this one and I will write driver dot find element by dot XPath, and now we will provide that XPath. So basically this is the XPath for previous button. So it should click on the previous button if condition is not matching. If the condition matches, then it will break. So now we have provided expected day as 12 October 2019. Now let's execute this file and let's see whether it selects the past date or not. So it will launch the web browser. It will maximize the window. And if you see, it will select the date field. And again we have made the same mistake. We have located the element but we haven't clicked on it. So again we have to use dot click here. I am just closing the previously open instance. I am just closing it. Now let's execute this file. It will launch the website. It will launch the browser. It will open the calendar. It will maximize the window and it will keep clicking on the previous icon. If you see, it is navigating backwards. 2022, 2021, 2020. We want to select 2019 and month would be 12, right? So 12 October, so 12 is a date, 10 is a month and 2019. So that is what we have provided here as our expected day, month and year. If you see 12 October 2019, that got selected. Now again I will change the date. Let's say I want to select 2020. Date I will select, let's say as 20. Let's say use it as January, 20 January 20 January 2020. That date I want to select. Let's execute this file. So it will launch the web browser. It will maximize the window. It will keep clicking on the previous icon until the expected month and year is matched first, that is 2020 of January, and then it will select the date which we have provided. If you see, it has selected the correct date, right? We have given the date as 20 January 2020. That got selected here. So this is the simple example of selecting or handling the date picker. Depending on the requirement, sometimes we have to write the logic. Now if you see, in this example we have written this strategy, but it depends. Sometimes date picker might look some different, so we have to write some another strategy. So this is how we can use date pickers by using Selenium and Python. I hope you all like this video. Kindly share my channel, subscribe to my channel. That keeps me motivated. Thank you everyone.